This episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com, authentic Muay Thai lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of a Nak Muay. Go check it out.
Swadee Kop, welcome to this episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast. We are live on TikTok and the Muay Thai community Discord server. If it is your first time tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in to the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast. Got a ton of stuff that I've kind of been on with lately. I was unable to get the update out last week for, was that the week or what was the date on that Friday? So usually I've been doing it every Friday. It was August 18th, 2023. Just been completely slam busy with travel. If you're just tuning in over on TikTok as well, this is the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast. If you're listening later on Spotify, Apple iTunes, let me know, reach out. You can always send me an email with questions to jonathan@muaythaiventura.com. It's JONATHAN at muaythaiventura.com. MUAYTHAI Ventura.com. All right. So kind of to get in a little bit what I've been up to last week, was traveling to Tulum, Mexico again. There was Rumble in the Jungle 7, and it was a spectacular event over there with the team, working together with Coach Ryan, Carol, Brooke, and Eddie Farrell over at Tulum Muay Thai to see a WBC Muay Thai Nai Khanom Tom World Championship title. That was Eddie Farrell versus Axel Carrillo. So it was Australia versus Mexico. Axel Carrillo is a great competitor. We had, if you've been listening on the podcast for a while, if you go listen back to the podcast episode called Fighting for a Car, that tournament was the one that Axel actually won. If you're familiar with Muay Thai, or if you're not, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of fighting for cars. In Thailand, they have what's called the Isuzu Cup. So similar to it's the Isuzu truck car company, right? And for all these companies, they actually sponsor a lot of stuff over in Thailand for Muay Thai. So it's a great opportunity for fighters to be able to build themselves up. And usually it's an 8-man tournament that takes place over the course of 1 year. The MT800 tournament is the second time they've done this in Monterrey, Mexico, sanctioned by WBC Muay Thai Mexico and Latin America. It's the second time they've done this tournament, and they fight for a car. So Axel beat not only the national champion of Mexico in that tournament, and I think he was the underdog going into that. But it just shows you, man, some people, they got that dog in them, man. It's funny, a lot of people are like, hey, this guy looks like he's scared to fight. But this guy came in, he brought it, all right? It was a great match against him and Eddie Farrell, a very close match as well. Eddie Farrell did take the World Championship title. I got very lucky. It was my first time officiating as a referee for a legit World Championship title. It wasn't a promotional title. It was WBC, the green belt, Nai Khanom Tom belt. Very grateful and thankful for the opportunity to be able to do that. Shout out to WBC Muay Thai Latin America President Julio Gamboa for allowing me to do that, and to the Rumble in the Jungle promoters, Ryan and Carol Ughawk, Brooke and Eddie Farrell over there in Tulum. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And along with these fights too. So we're traveling down there. I got to stay at the Moto Hotel in Tulum. It was really nice. Moto by Hilton, I think is what it's called. Highly recommend the stay if you're ever in Tulum. Has a whole compound, like a whole entire mall that's down there that this hotel encompasses. Great rooftop bar. It's got like the whole like white and brown motif going on there, along with of course two infinity pools, and like It's got everything. It overlooks like the jungle top. It's a pretty spectacular place. So the promoters were able to put up the ring officials there. Super stoked for that. Highly recommend it if you're ever going down to go visit our friends over at Tulum Muay Thai. It is a bit of a drive away, about 10-minute drive by taxi. But if you just want to like treat yourself and have like a Muay Thai getaway, that might not be a bad place to do it. There's of course Airbnbs nearby their gym and stuff too. And it was just totally like spectacular experience. Great for the officials and stuff like that too. It was nice to get that treatment because I ended up working about 16 fights. And it is hot and humid. I'm wearing pants and wearing like the dress shoes and the polo shirt. I must have sweat out at least like, I want to say around 10 pounds of water. Like my gloves are full of sweat after like 1 or 2 fights. I'd get them swapped out. But just overall great experience. Gets you out of your comfort zone as a ring official to work in like an environment like that. It's very raw, but they actually do a very good job. I've been helping give them like feedback notes since their since their third event, where Ryan went down there. And they've been working on getting towards it. Now they're doing blood testing, which is spectacular. And I was very happy because, as you can see, they had the Cod Shook fights. And this gentleman right here, Mauricio, he was fighting in bare knuckles. All right. It basically bare knuckles with rope. All right. And I see some more questions coming in here too, and I'll get to those. All right. Is this tips with fighting with gloves or just random stories? So, I have any questions. This is not random story. This is exactly this weekend about what happened. It's a record-breaking thing. This is the only Muay Thai rope fights in Pan America. All right. So they are literally making history in combat sports. So this fight right here, he causes his opponent to have to get 20 stitches on his cheekbone. It's great event. Okay, seeing these fights is freaking insane. Is boxing heavy Muay Thai really dominant now? So flying dumb, that's a great question. You're seeing with the thing is, I think you're seeing more of an equalization with the smaller gloves. Like you're seeing the MMA gloves that they're using, or like the Cod Shook rope fights, right? Yeah, hand heavy is gonna cause more damage than like a boxing glove, right? Similar to an elbow or a knee or a kick. So you are going to see more hands being thrown because it's harder to defend a smaller glove. That's straight up. Who are the fighters? So the fighters, the full list of the full fight card, I don't have it in front of me. It's still a big blur. There's 18 fights. But this one right here, Mauricio, shout out to him. He was fighting. He's from fighter from Mexico. He won his fight by knockout, by TKO, doctor stoppage is what that one was. And there was a couple other rope fights that were just complete bangers. And you can go follow Rumble in the Jungle. Their website's rumbleinthejunglemexico.com. Rumble in the Jungle Tulum, TULUM.com. Go check them out. I think their next event's in November. They have a live stream. And they have a great quality live stream. They have made massive improvements. They got a little secret to getting like some badass connection down there in Mexico. Because if you've been to Mexico or Tulum, you realize that like Wi-Fi, all that stuff doesn't work that great. But they have an excellent solution that allows them to have a badass image quality. And it's crisp. It's crisper than anything else I've seen that's come out of Mexico, including Glory Kickboxing. I think I was familiar with Rumble in the Jungle MMA in Arizona. I don't think the Rumble in the Jungle MMA in Arizona. I'm not familiar with that, Flying Dumb. Rumble in the Jungle Muay Thai. It's a Muay Thai promotion down in Tulum, Mexico. Had fighters, but the promoter comes out here to Arizona as well. I'm actually in Scottsdale right now, so it's not too hot today. It's kind of great, but just a fantastic event. Not the same name. Okay, got you. So with this fight that they had, like with the small gloves, yeah, there is a different dynamic to it because not only is it like an MMA glove or smaller, but it also causes rope burns. It's more abrasion. So I've seen fighters hit and like drag their knuckles down their opponent's face as they're punching. So it causes a different dynamic, and of course they can open their hands more than MMA. All right, they can open their hands more. So like they have to be aware of their fingers and stuff like that too. But it is definitely a completely different dynamic. And they're the only ones in North America, Central America, South America, that's Pan America, that are doing these events. The only ones, okay? Otherwise, you have to go over to Thailand, Burma, and like Cambodia on the borders to go see these fights. All right. Yeah, Kundus as well. Nobody has time to set up kicks. I'm not. I'm kind of confused. Oh, you mean like they can throw punches? Yeah, definitely. But everything's good. Everything works. You know, you just have to be aware of the smaller glove size, the smaller weapon, right? Because if you're used to a bigger boxing glove, some of those blocking techniques are going to be much more difficult to pull off. Okay, like you're not going to be able to just do like a double pillar, like cover up so much because it's easy for those hands to slip through there, right? But the whole event, the main event of the world title fight was a freaking banger. It was a great fight from Eddie Farrell, who's a bit older than Axel Carrillo. I think Axel Carrillo has what it takes to be world champion. Thank you so much, Flying Dumb, for the follow as well. I appreciate you. If you are watching live on TikTok, don't forget to double tap screen. It helps us boost up in the A word. I'm not going to say it because it doesn't like it when I say the A word. That helps us grow on TikTok, all right, which helps us reach more people. It helps us grow Muay Thai, right? So for this fight, not many promoters promote legit world championship title. All right, they've slapped world championship on it. It's their own promotion. It's what they call a promotional title. Very rarely do you see a promoter actually do a legit world championship Muay Thai title. So, and we saw it there in Tulum, Mexico, in the freaking jungle. All right. So just again, shout out to WBC Muay Thai Mexico, Latin America, and to the Rumble in the Jungle promoters for making that happen. If you're listening to the last episode, this weekend I'm heading out to Hammond, Indiana, to go officiate at Prime Fight Promotions. That one, I think the main event on that one is going to be Chelsea Maynard and Tierra Brandt, which I talked about last time, so I'm not going to go too much into it. They're not going to have rope fights there because this cannot get regulated in the USA currently. I suspect it will probably end up happening, though. I suspect that it's probably going to end up happening. But kind of just going through, if you guys have questions at all, please let me know. I'm happy to answer any of those questions that you might have. As we wait for more questions here, we have Angela Overhill Kill, who was there of UFC. She was actually commentating, and Jamal, I don't know Jamal's last name, also UFC fighter, were both commentators on there too. I'm doing homework and I joined back after G. Thank you so much for tuning in, man. I appreciate it. Cool to see like the combat sports community coming out in whole, and just like you couldn't plan some of the stuff. Just people end up being in Tulum at the same time on vacation, and they're coming out to come watch some badass events. It's a great opportunity, a great experience. Some people go train over at Tulum Muay Thai, which is right across the street from the venue. You cannot get much better like location than this too. All right, it makes it very easy, very accessible, and just the level of Muay Thai is freaking insane. Like the Cod Shook fights, some of them I did not expect them to be that technical, and they were definitely technical masterpieces in some of those fights. One of them was a complete banger. The guy took the fight on a day notice, right, and still pulled out a win. It was pretty freaking gangster move. He actually ended up winning a. He actually had a full 1 year sponsorship to Tulum Muay Thai. Flying Dumb asks, is there no way to watch it online? Yes, you can watch it online. They're working on getting the live stream. They have to get it all edited up. But the free live stream was on Rumble in the Jungle's OnlyFans page. It was completely 100% free on there. And then they had their live stream. They're going to have a video on demand that you can purchase and watch later as well. All right. But you can definitely watch it. Go check out Rumble in the Jungle Tulum.com for all your updates on Instagram. It's Rumble in the Jungle Mexico, at Rumble in the Jungle Mexico. Jacob Miter says, for teeping, any tips to actually push your opponent back and not yourself? LOL. You know, Jacob, the most common thing I see happen for people when they're throwing a teep is that, like in this scenario where they're pushing themselves back, is when you land your teep, you want your leg to be straight. Right? Your knee should not be bent. Same thing with your base leg. You want your base leg straight. That way you can kind of like create this joist, like if you see in my hand right here. So this is the ground. So they're pushing back on their base leg. That way they can push into their teep. So that's what that's going to do. But if your knee's bent, the person pushes into you, it's going to push you back. All right. So I would say that would be the best thing. Making sure that you're, then the lead teep is going to be different than the rear teep. We talked about it here a little bit. But yeah, as you can see, I'm all about Teeps. I'm wearing my pink Eat Sleep Teep shirt here. All right, which is also available in their online shop. What do you think of Bang Muay Thai? Bang Muay Thai has brought a lot of people to understand what Muay Thai is. I think it's great. Absolutely, Jacob Miter. If you have any more questions too, you want more clarification, let me know. Just drop a comment. But Bang Muay Thai brought some great people hearing the word Muay Thai more, which is good. It's definitely more of like an MMA striking system, which is great. And it utilizes different tools in Muay Thai. But if you notice, it doesn't have a lot of clinch in it, right? So Muay Thai utilizes everything, including clinch, and their stuff, obviously is very successful in mixed martial arts, right? I would call it more of like a Dutch style kickboxing system that they have, and they have the word Muay Thai on it. And shout out to Dwayne Ludwig, awesome program. I've done some of the Bang Muay Thai seminars and stuff like that too with Dwayne Ludwig and Sensei Dwayne and Sensei Bas Rutten. It was a great time. Highly recommend you go check that out if you ever do. Can you recommend Durham Like County says, can you recommend when to incorporate weight training into training? Seems to hurt too much. They're in Lake County. So this is a great question. I've actually addressed this before, but I will talk about it again for you. So with weight training in Muay Thai, I would say 1 to 2 times a week, and you're looking to do full body movements. So these are called compound movements, such as squats, front squats, back squats, overhead press, bench press, deadlifts, and power cleans, pull-ups, and dips. All right. So you want to find a strength training routine that incorporates all those along with some range of movement or range of motion stuff, not range of movement, things in there as well. They're going to allow you to be into there. But, once or twice a week maximum. And the thing is, if you're going into like a competition, periodization is the period leading into a certain thing to get a certain result. So periodization would be, let's say, 3 weeks out from your fight, you're going to stop doing your strength training. All right. You're going to cut back on it because you want to make sure you're focused on technique, speed, letting your body and your muscles do what they're going to do. You're not trying to tear it down. You're trying to build up, recover, and gain those skills. And that way you can be as sharp as you can come fight night. Right. So, and like you said, you don't want to have that delayed onset muscle soreness, especially if you're going into a fight. If you're going into training all the time, you're always sore. It's not good. If you're sore from weights, that could affect your training and cause more injury. Shout out to and go check out Don Hetrick. Don Hetrick has some great strength training programs that are available. He's a ton of free content. He's actually one of the other top Muay Thai podcasts above ours, right? Go check it out. I highly recommend it. He's been around for years. He's a player in the game. He's an OG. He's been working with the Bad Company fighters like Liam Harrison, stuff like that too. Angela Chang, my friend Angela Chang, who's been here on the podcast. And that'll be like a great way for you to kind of like understand just looking at his free content, right? Free content's great. If you're looking for some other more specific stuff too, I have some body weight training and stuff like that. I don't think I have too much on like weights and stuff, but on my book, Preparing for Your First Muay Thai Fight, which you can get at the link in my bio, I talk about everything you need to do in regards to periodization and running, road work, sparring, clinching technique, bodyweight exercises, strength training exercises, and mental prep. That's the most important thing there is the mental prep. And it's not just for your first fight. This is for anybody, okay? But if you have more questions about Muay Thai, about training, drop them in the comments or go send them over to me on the Muay Thai Community Discord server. I can answer them next time. Always happy to do it. Or if you're listening, you'll listen to this later, you can also email me to Jonathan, JONATHAN, at MuayThaiVentura.com. All right, go check it out. Send me an email. Let me know what your questions are. Or maybe you just want me to give a shout to somebody, one of your training partners that you love punching in the face so much. Give them a little shout, give them a little love. You could definitely do that. Flying Dom says, I'd like to get into the American Muay Thai scene. Flying Dom, are you located in Arizona? Because I know you mentioned something about Arizona before. If you are, it has a great Muay Thai scene in Arizona. They have a lot of activity. All eyes are on Arizona for Muay Thai in the U.S. right now. What was the event behind you again? This is Rumble in the Jungle. So their website is Rumble in the Jungle, Mexico. Sorry, Rumble in the Jungle, Tulum. devote.com. Let's see if I can go type this down here. Let me put it here in the comments. I'm not sure if you could write it here in the comments. Thank you, man. Really informative. We'll look it up now. Durham Lake County, you're welcome, man. I hope that helps. But Rumble in the Jungle, Mexico. But let me just double check this. That I give you guys the correct website. Okay. Yeah, I got it. Awesome, man. But they, like I said, just overall great event. And the grassroots like movement of it is really freaking spectacular because it's 100% Muay Thai. 100%. Yeah, rumbleinthejungletulum.com. They have the sponsors, all the stuff. We're one of the sponsors on there too. So you can go check that out as well. Because again, we're about growing Muay Thai, and you'd be surprised how far $200 can go in Mexico for a fighter or for an event like this. So if you have more questions too, please let me know. But yeah, at Flying Dom, go check it out. Depending on what part of the U.S. you're in, there's more activity. But I will say this, if you're trying to get into like actively competing, then you're going to want to go to the tournaments. I have a whole breakdown of this in a document that I have it on my OnlyFans. But what I'll do is I'll get it set up if you listen to this later because it's older now. But I was selling it to coaches. Now I'm just going to give it out for free for anybody who wants to check it out. I'm just looking to support too. That's awesome, man. If you go to the tournament, it's actually great on, I think it's November 31st through December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. All right. They're doing a 4-day tournament in Scottsdale, Arizona. All right. National tournament on December 2nd. They're also at the tournament. They're doing a live professional Muay Thai event as well at the amateur tournament. All right. I believe Samurai Soul is going to be having it. I think I'll be working it. I hope I am. Fingers crossed. If I get the assignment from the state, I'm going to be super stoked. All right. So if you want to come out, that's going to be, if you go to usmuaythaiopen.com. Again, that's usmuaythaiopen.com. 4 days of fighting. Or actually 3 days of fighting. 1 day is weigh-in, right? And then you're going to go over, check out Samurai Soul Fighting Championship on the December 2nd. All right, or if you just want to come for 1 day and go watch Samurai Soul as well, you can. Finals are on December 3rd for the tournament. It's going to be fire, man. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Jacob Miter has another question. How would you set up things like elbows and knees if the opponent is still at kicking distance? So this is about closing distance, I would say, right? So how do you close that distance? You can make them miss a kick. That way you could jump in, right? Or you can get them to freeze using feints or using like a hop, right? Using a punch, stepping in behind your punch. Like so you punch out. As you retract your punch back, take a step in, bring your feet up underneath you. Those are great things to be able to do that. And it definitely takes practice. And with elbows, that's all about like getting people to clash in, right? Getting them to step in at the same time or pressing them against the ropes, right? If somebody's throwing a teep, they're in that kicking range, swiping it to the side so you can step in, right? Or grabbing it, swiping it to the side, like two-hand grab. Or just doing a little small lift to get them off balance and stepping in. All right, what I mean by lift, not like lifting up their body. Just when they throw it deep, just scoop it up real quick. Stuff like that's going to really help you get that set up as well. But the main thing is going to be making them miss. That way you can make them pay. All right, as my friend Crew Dan would always say, make them miss, make them pay. I hope that helps Jacob Miter. But if you guys want to go check out US Muay Thai Open, I highly recommend it. It's a great tournament, very grassroots. Same thing with these guys. They invest all their money back into the tournament. I see a question here from Ghost of Sparta. Any tips on making it to the UFC? I'm 16. I've been training for 4 years. So first of all, Ghost of Sparta, I would ask, why do you want to be in the UFC? Right? What is your why? Also, second, I would highly, highly, highly suggest you go look at One Championship. One Championship has a higher net worth than the UFC. All right, they're bigger everywhere else outside the USA. They do Muay Thai, kickboxing, MMA, and Jiu-Jitsu super fights. It is a true martial arts organization. It's not like this what I call entertainment like powerhouse, which is the UFC. You know, it's like kind of like the NFL, right? People like to see people get hit. That's what that is. Whereas One FC promotes more like the martial arts. All right, so find out what your why is and use that, right? And get active. Do these tournaments. Do as much amateur stuff as you can if you're trying to fight Muay Thai. Is there such thing as American style? Flying Dom asks, is there such thing as American style Muay Thai? No, there's the heavy boxing style in Europe and traditional in Thailand. So Everything here in the West, this is what we tell our students, is we think more with our hands, right? When we think more with our hands, but in Thailand, I think more with their feet, right? So, of course, that's going to be seen. But what's happening too is it comes into how regulation works. So, regulation here in the Muay Thai is a very finicky thing. For the longest time, it's been boxing and kickboxing organizations attempting to regulate Muay Thai. This has created issues and confusion on the judging criteria. It's like the biggest headbanging moment, right? So these people fight and they start learning how to win on these kickboxing, boxing sanctioning bodies, fighting quote unquote Muay Thai. Then they go to actual Muay Thai sanctioning body, which actually has Muay Thai judging criteria, and they lose. And they just say, oh, I'm getting fucked because I'm not fighting in my home state or home country. No, you're losing because you don't know how to score and win on the judging criteria of Muay Thai. So there's becoming more and more of a standard, I guess you could say. And I would say definitely you're always going to get people who are a little more hand heavy in the West. Just straight up. But Muay Thai in the U.S., the level is actually, in my opinion, is going to be ahead of the European countries in about the next 12 years. All right. Ghost of Sparta is also asking, should I start jiu-jitsu or wrestling first? Ghost of Sparta, honestly, I would recommend starting Muay Thai first. And I'm going to tell you, I've said it here, and it's been a controversial post a couple times, is that if you do Muay Thai for about 7 years, 8 years, and get really good understanding of it, and then get into jiu-jitsu and stuff like that in your early 20s and you're wrestling, I think it's really going to help you. Or if you do jiu-jitsu or wrestling like twice a week, and then really just double down on Muay Thai. Because in getting like an authentic Muay Thai program where you're learning the clinching and stuff like that too, that way you're learning the stand-up wrestling. If you look at like the Loma Lukmanese, you look at the Valentina Shevchenkos, you look at these fighters that do Muay Thai for the long term and have this high-level fight IQ, and then they double down jiu-jitsu for about 6 years, they're fucking dominating. All right, they're completely dominating in their weight class. All right, so you want to go check that out. There's another Muay Thai fighter who just exploded onto the UFC, Mr. Johnny Parsons. Shout out to him, his coach Chris Trammell, who was judging this weekend. That's Muay Thai in UFC. He just won the Contender Series, I guess, UFC Dana White's Contender Series, and he exploded. He got a fight of the night bonus, first fight. Okay, because he was showing real Muay Thai inside of the fight. He dominated his opponent. Performance of the night, for sure, 100%. And that is a Muay Thai fighter and a Muay Thai coach who is now transitioned to MMA. Thoughts on Fabricio Andrade versus Jonathan Haggerty in kickboxing? I don't know too much about Fabricio Andrade, but Jonathan Haggerty is a Muay Thai fighter. He likes using his elbows and stuff like that too, and it is a completely different skill set, right? Or not so much, but I will say that Jonathan Haggerty, being a Muay Thai fighter, will have that leg up, all right, in that. Because if you look at kickboxing right now, the most dominant kickboxers are people that have a Muay Thai background, whereas you don't see so many dominant kickboxers, transition successfully to be dominant Muay Thai fighters, if that makes sense, okay? These are all great questions too. If you got more, please drop them down in the comments. And, Jonathan Haggerty, talking about exploding onto the scene, right? And Jonathan Haggerty's opponent, Mr. Rodtang, is going to be fighting coming up soon. I think that's going to be a really exciting match that's coming up. Also, this Friday, when this podcast come out, Friday morning, we're going to see my friend Kong Klai Annie Muay Thai from Kitakan Torn Gym. He is going to be fighting as well this weekend again on One Fight Night. So if you want to watch One Fight Night on August 25th, the live event later on, go check it out. I hope him the best. You'll never be disappointed or bored in a fight that has Kong Klai in it. All right, always a banger, always great fights. Yeah, it would be super impressive if an MMA fighter can win a belt in another sport rather than the other way around. Yeah, Flying Dumb, I think the person that would be able to do it the most is Demetrius Johnson. If there's somebody that can do it, I think it would be DJ. Ghost of Sparta says, do you think one championship fighters are more skilled than UFC fighters? Not necessarily. I say that because the thing is you're comparing apples to oranges. Because one UFC has Muay Thai, UFC does not. It has MMA. When it comes into MMA skill level, I think you're going to see MMA grow more in ONE FC. Right now, for mixed martial arts, I will say UFC, they are that entertainment powerhouse. They have the money, right? But when it comes into like how they promote, right? Because they have a promotion, they're there for entertainment. I'm going to say that the way that UFC promotes martial arts is detrimental to the virtues of martial arts, if that makes sense. People look at UFC as violent, barbaric. People look at ONE FC, all right, and they hear it and they see how they promote the fighters. They promote values of martial arts. That's what I see, and that's my perception as somebody who's been in Muay Thai for 16 plus years, former professional fighter, professional ring official, and all this good stuff, working as a coach full-time for over 9 years now. So do with that what you will, but that's my professional opinion on that. They both serve a purpose, but I think ONE FC is going to continue to take market share. They have 4 ONE FC events in the United States next year. I've talked about sanctioning here and why they weren't able to be here. It was an uphill battle for them. They're fighting against the sanctioning bodies here, the organizations, the boxing commissions, to get in, because a lot of them are buddy-buddy with the Fertitta brothers. They do business. They know how to control shit. I don't blame them. It's business. It is what it is. But ONE FC is learning to navigate that and get around it. So shout out to Chattree for figuring that shit out, because it's going to be dope for all the fans, because the fans and the fighters and the coaches and the athletes, everybody's going to win. That's the best thing. Everybody's going to win because it helps grow the sport, guys. Competition is a good thing. Competition is a good thing. All right. Kind of hope PFL Super Fight League gets big too. You know, the thing is they only do MMA, right? So I think it's always good, but we'll see what happens with it, right? So with that said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you for everybody over on TikTok. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to send over your questions to Jonathan at MuayThaiVentura.com or your shout outs. Always happy to read them out here on air. And you have a great rest of your day. So what do you call it? All right, that's it today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys are listening on iTunes, please go leave a review. It means the world to me if you enjoy the content, if you like hearing about all the stuff that has to do with Muay Thai and what we're doing.